And then here's your cookie. Okay, thank you so much. She texted me. Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? You can. Very good. My name is Sheree Johnson. I am the Manager of Program Operations and Quality. And we welcome you to this month's Executive Director, Program Director meeting. We thank you all for joining us. I know you're looking around like, man, what's happening here? Some key players are missing, right? So I will be leading the meeting today in Sarathel's stead. She's texting me throughout the meeting, so I'll be referencing my phone quite a bit, but I understand that, you know, we have metered parking outside. We are already 15 minutes behind, so I am trying to be respectful of your time. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's dive right in. Am I clicking the wrong button? No, I'm just gonna use the arrow. Okay, so on behalf of our Deputy Commissioner, Sarathel Burgess Burnett, she is providing some updates for everyone. I'm sure you're looking around the room again. Sarathel's missing, a few other key players from our team. We have a few toggling tasks that are all happening at the very same time. I was just telling Lisa, where you at from Mary Crane? I was just telling Lisa, me and Lisa are supposed to be on a training for Office of Head Start, but we are here, right? So we are dividing, we are conquering so that we can provide you guys with necessary updates as it relates to your program. So in terms of FA2, how many of you guys know that the city of Chicago is preparing for an FA2? Humor me, raise your hand. Thank you. I like interaction. I cannot stand boring meetings, but yes, we are in the midst of FA2 prep. The second bullet there mentions our class. So as you may recall, from February 14th through April the 8th, City of Chicago went through our class observations. We're happy to report that we did pass with flying colors. I'm giving the team a round of applause, giving you guys a round of applause. As you can see here on this slide, we received a 5.96 in emotional support, 5.6 in classroom organization, and a 2.8 in instructional support. So our goal for class was to have 6.63, and you know, you guys can round. So a 5.9 is a 6, right? A 5.6 is a 6, right? And a 2.8 is definitely real close to a 3. So we are excited that we hit our mark for class, but we also knew that with class comes the FA2. So I'm gonna go back up to the first bullet, and now we are in the midst of prep for FA2. This FA2 applies to those who we fund for Head Start, those who we fund for Early Head Start, and those who we fund for Early Head Start CCP. So what that means is that our team, a number of our team members are back at the office doing prep. Sarathel's on a meeting right now as it relates to FA2. We have some teams who are reviewing ERCEA files. We have some teams that are reviewing credentials. We have some folks who are reviewing background checks. So we're doing a lot of preliminary things as it relates to this FA2. Let's see what she said specifically. I want to quote her words exactly. She said, for FA2, let me do my Sarathel voice. Y'all ready? Hey, y'all, no, just playing. And she'd be like, hey, everybody. Okay. She said, for FA2, we will continue to work on ERCEA files, and we will be requesting agency staff to bring those files to our offices at 1615 West Chicago Avenue, okay? We know that for the FA2, it will not be for our entire program for Head Start, Early Head Start, and Early Head Start CCP, but we don't know what that sample is going to look like. So we are looking at everything across the board. We want to be ready. Again, our FA2 starts on June 3rd, that entire week through the 7th, okay? So we will be preparing and reviewing ERCIA files. So for some of you, I know someone wants to ask, like, but didn't you already collect my ERCIA files? We did. For a number of you, we did pull a small sample. Well, it was kind of large, but we pulled a sample and we already have your files. We already are reviewing those. But there are others in this room, other organizations who may not be in this room, where we have not pulled their files. So we'll continue with pulling their files, and that will go through next week. The only difference is we'll be inviting you to come into our office to sit round table with us so that we can review the files together. In some instances, we cannot correct your files, right? So if there's something going on in your file, you, of course, can address it and correct it right on the spot. So that's why we're inviting you guys to come in and sit round table with us. Based on our findings and trends from this week, we will correct them, and we are again preparing for our review on June the 3rd. Are there any questions regarding that? She apologizes for not being, let me do my voice. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, guys, that I can't be there with you guys. You know, I am always willing to roll up my sleeves and dive. She didn't type this, it's me. Roll up my sleeves and dive into the work with you guys. But I am here in the office working on our FA2 prep and trying to make sure that we have everything that we need. Please tell the agencies that if they have not yet submitted their background checks, if you have not yet submitted your teacher and family service worker credential documents, it is urgent that we get them today, okay? If you don't know where to send them, you can send them directly to Sarethel. You can send them to me. You can send them to a member of our team, but we need them today because, again, we're reviewing and preparing so that we don't wait to the very last hour to let you know what's missing and what gaps we have, okay? RFP final decisions are being considered. Those of you, I know a lot of you have been blowing somebody up asking what's happening with the RFP? What's happening with the RFP? You know, the RFP decision has not been fully made, right? The final decision, as it's stated, is being considered. I really don't have much information beyond that, but what that means is that those of you who are currently funded, you will remain funded, right? And additional guidance will come in the very near future, okay?
That's PIPFA.
That is the Chicago Early Learning, yes, RFP, yes. Now, some of you may have seen on, you know, ISB's website that there's an RFP that's currently open, right, in the state of Illinois. And some folks are like, oh, can we apply for that? That is not for the city of Chicago. We know that city of Chicago funds are administered through CPS. CPS currently administers those through DFSS. So I'm referencing that. If you are outside of the city of Chicago, if you have a cousin or family member or another program outside of the city of Chicago, that RFP is or was open, okay? I thought I saw a hand. Did I see a hand over here? Oh. And are there any other questions regarding that? CARES training survey, please complete it. So we know that we have been transitioning from COPA for approaching 2 years. COPA shut down back in August of 2022. And we have been doing a really interesting job of transitioning our programs into our care system. Is the care system complete? Can someone answer that for me? No, say it again, say it louder. No, thank you, it is not. Just being honest, fully transparent. It is not complete, right? We have some aspects of it that does work. So we ask that you guys, if you have not, you know, taken a dive into CARES, please dive into it. But this survey will help us to know and understand what your training needs are. Yes, you've been through training before, we know this. Yes, you've gone through it and some of it may not have been beneficial. Yes, some of it may have been good, right? But we know that none of us are 100% ready for CARES. Even internally, we're still working through CARES, right? So we ask that you guys please complete this training survey so that we can know what your training needs are currently. They may have changed over the last few months. Yes.
So we received a report of the amount of families we have in the system. Will we be recommended, because we're constantly putting families into school med, and then try to put them over into care, but they're taking a little time with school mid. One of my families took like 2 or 3 months for them to come over. So are we being recommended for that if they're not in it? Because we keep getting letters saying that we're below where we should be.
Let me repeat what you just said for those, so everybody can hear.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sum it up,
Okay.
okay?
sum it up.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So in essence, she just wants to know, what y'all gonna do with, no, I'm just playing. She just wants to know, are there any repercussions or will programs be reprimanded for not having their information in CARES? But then she also continued by saying that she's been trying, she's been having some issues. We've been notifying her. The key there is that she's been notifying us, okay? We know, again, that the system is not 100%. So there are programs who we know have been trying, programs who have been reaching out, programs who have been in constant communications, right? There are others who haven't said or done anything. Those are the ones that we are truly concerned about. And those, in terms of being reprimanded, we will have to have some hard conversations, because this will be our system of record. And we don't have an option at this point, okay? You're welcome. So as long as you guys are communicating to us that there's an issue, and that's why Craig kind of swiveled around like, what? Because our team is working hard to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
And some of these issues, we are kind of caught in the middle, but we're trying our best, okay?
Yeah, no, and I get that because we've been working with Craig and a couple other staff members, and, but I know there's a lot of glitches in the system.
So if you know people by name, that means that we know you and that we know that you are trying.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not gonna point any elbows to anyone else in this room, but there are some folks who may have tried a little and given up. And I don't blame you for trying, and giving up, because it's frustrating. Like, I have a whole job. How am I supposed to? But guess what? We have to figure this out. And that's why we're putting out yet another survey, just again to see. We know that you've been telling us this, but tell us as of today, where are you? How can we help you? Because eventually COPA will go away, okay? We are using COPA for COPA HR. We are using COPA for those of you who have CCAP. We are tracking, that information in there. We are using it for archiving. So we are referencing it for past data. Yes, but moving forward, we need to be in CARES. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Well, don't tell me the concerns, because I already know that. Okay. Application update. So as we know, the Chicago Early Learning application launched on April the 9th. And that is for the upcoming school year, for the 2024-2025 school year. And offer letters will be going out to families on May 22nd. And we are in the process of updating our slot matrix to ensure that any offers or slot availability that's reflected on the website is accurate, or as accurate as possible. So you may receive some, messaging from our team internally just to verify your slot information and things of that nature. But offer letters will be going out. We do have some data. I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but we do have data regarding how many applications we've received for each age group, doula on the way up to age 5. So we could provide that information to you guys, but just letting you know that the application is live, and we will be doing some internal work just to verify slots. We know for some programs it's saying that there's a slot available, and it may not be. It may be some programs where it's saying a slot is not available, and it is. So we're trying to work out these glitches, okay? Any questions on that? Let me know if I'm moving too fast, because sometimes I talk and then I don't realize, but then I'll read a face, like some eyebrows will go like, what? So I'm looking at you. Your eyebrows not doing that right now, but just let me know. Yes, Craig?
Yeah, I just want to clarify
Sure.
something about the application. So when we talk about offers being issued last week or next week, everybody who was enrolled in SchoolMed as of the end of April, who was not of an age to age out of the program, has been given a returning offer. Because we did not want the system to go and give seats to new kids that don't really exist because you have a child returning to that spot. So once the offers are made, just go in and take a look at that list, because if kids are not returning, they're taking up space. So you will need to drop them.
Transitioning children. The ones that are going like from the 2-year-old classrooms to the 3-year.
Tried this year. So, but again, I don't know if all of them are actually transitioning. So for sites that have both age groups, we did give the incoming 3-year-olds an offer. The other thing about that, I realized at the end of April, returning offers are something that in the system we have to do before we do placement. So there are not going to be any more returning offers going forward. So anybody that enrolls now, but is coming back next year is gonna have to apply for next year. And anybody that we missed for any reason is gonna have to apply for next year. Because we can't create new returning offers once it's live.
And then another issue that I've been looking at is like our agency does not have slots for 0 to 2 to 5. And we've been receiving calls from very angry families, like stating like, oh, a slot was offered. Because of that application that is 0 to 2 for the 2-year-olds. So that's a major issue because we have angry parents stating what an offer was made to us.
And that's a part of that system maintenance that I mentioned. So there are some folks who may have incorrect allocations or funding streams, or maybe one that may be missing, things of that nature. We're aware that initially when the application launched a few years back, the system is recognizing what was submitted at that time. What we've been encountering is a little hiccup in updating that information. The system's not recognizing additional updates, or Craig and team and the other powers that be can't update. So we're trying to address that. And once we have additional updates regarding that, we'll be sure to communicate that widely. But I'm saying all that to say that you're not the only one, and we know. Okay.
Send me an email.
Yep. And also
Thanks.
nudge, because we're tracking that as well. And we're also communicating to the folks who are manning the Chicago Early Learning Hotline, because oftentimes when we get angry parents, they tell us first, right? Like, you know, Sheray's daycare, they told me I didn't have a seat, but I have an offer.
Yes.
That's how they say it, but I have an offer.
For them to call you guys because there's like nothing that I can do.
Right. And, you know, and I get it. It's frustrating, especially, you know, when you have a young learner and this might be the first time. And, you know, so I'm in no way making a joke about that, because that is quite serious, right? But we're doing our best to try to accommodate and to speak on your behalf. But then sometimes when it just doesn't make sense, like, okay, wait a minute, Sheray's daycare, they're turning you away, but on our end, you're not fully enrolled. So those type of things, we're doing a lot of communication back and forth, but something like that, definitely reach out to Craig. Okay. Are there any other questions regarding? Yes.
I had a question. One of the biggest issues I had was when the children are moving over to get the offer. Children were given offers, but they were kids that wasn't enrolled. So I have been in constant contact with Jennifer, who has been helping me. But one snag we ran into was like we had to get the kids off of there so other kids can. So what I had started doing was denying because those kids wasn't enrolled. Well, what happened was we started actually using that list as a recruitment list. Reached out to them parents, and the parents did come, and now I don't know how to undo the decline. So I know Jennifer was mentioning she was going to talk with Craig about it, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, only I can undo a decline.
Yeah.
That's literally
You done
true.
messed up, Lisa.
You know, I gotta send me their names. And we'll
Okay.
do it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
so if you encounter that, so again, this is a very interesting system. Once you do something, it's hard to reverse, okay? Only certain folks have the superpowers, and this is Mr. Superpower right here, okay? So if you encounter anything, you know, crazy, it's something you can't do, it's something that you used to do, but now you can't, whatever it is, reach out to us so that we can help you troubleshoot, okay? Cool. All right. And forgive me, because I'm looking at it and reading it, because again, it's not my slide, so I'm trying to get an understand. Okay, labor peace agreement. So we received the communication dated May 8th. So this applies to all, and this, have you guys received a notification from DFSS regarding the labor peace agreement? Yes, some of you have, some of you have not. Okay, so basically, the leadership at DFSS sent out a mass mailing. So if you yourself have not received it, someone in your organization should have received it. Basically, the person whose name may be on your contract will receive, because we have a mass list, a mass mailing list based off of contracts. But our commissioner, Brandy Kanaze, sent out a notification that applies to all DFSS and CDPH delegate agencies contracted to perform health and social services, excluding certain hospitals that have more or have 20 or more employees. So this contract is just referencing do's and don'ts related to your contract, just stating that as it relates to unionized environments, it's referencing what you're able to do and what you are unable to do. So I encourage you to just make a note, labor peace agreement notification, May 8th. Take it back to your organizations if you don't know what I'm referencing, because someone, specifically anyone who is, in charge of your contracts, should have received this notification from Brandy Kanaze, Knazze. Yes, because I know some folks like to search it. Make sure it didn't go on your spam, because this is very important. This is just referencing, again, do's and don'ts as it relates to your organization as being a contracted entity from DFSS. Okay, and it's asking for your due diligence and reporting and things of that nature. So please read it. And then someone on our team, please make note, because it sounds like we need to send this out again, because some folks may not have gotten it. Language will be in the contracts moving forward. So any new contracts that you're getting from DFSS will have this embedded in it. So some folks, I'm sometimes guilty of this too, will think like, oh, it's the same document. Okay, no, please read everything that you're signing, because again, new language will be embedded regarding labor peace agreement. And I know that's very vague, but that's general, but that's all I have at the moment. But are there any questions that we can record down for you guys and follow up? Anyone has any specific questions related to that? I know you said that you saw it. Do you have any questions? Not right now. All right, I think that she only had one slide. Let's see. She did. Hooray, I made it. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sheree. I'm the manager of program. I could be me now, right? I'm the manager of program operations and quality. And I am also, in addition to being the manager of program operations and quality, I am also I've given myself a title because no one has given it to me, but this is what I am. I am the liaison, no, that's not it. I am the new arrivals recruitment and enrollment liaison for DFSS Chicago Early Learning. That sound fancy? Thank you, Charles. You the man. All right. So that basically means that we know that our homeless services division here at DFSS, they're doing a yeoman's job of supporting new arrivals as they arrive in the city of Chicago. But it is my job to bridge the gap to get quality early learning programs such as yourselves into family shelters that are housing children 0 to 5. Okay. So every month, I'm saying that because some of you may be new to this, but every month I give an update as to where we are with our enrollments, where we are with the data from the shelters. So this is just letting you guys know that as of May 2nd, we have 1,125 children aged 0 to 5 in shelter right now, okay? Which isn't terrible. At one point, we had nearly 3,000 children in shelter. So the numbers are declining. And as you can see there, previously we had 1,200, now we're at 1,100. So there are about 100 children, less in shelter right now, which means that it's not a bad thing. Actually, they're transitioning out of shelter. We want families to find permanent housing. We want families to be better, right? So it's great. This is just our ongoing list of supports. We get a number of inquiries from folks asking, how can I help? What can I provide? So these are some of the organizations that are providing supports to our new arrival families. Additional information can be found at that link that's on your screen. Okay. And now it's not letting me click. So here's our enrollment data. So a number of you, oftentimes you've reached out to me saying, well, I need to get in the shelter. I got 1 vacancy, or I need to get in the shelter. I got 20 vacancies, be it if you have 1 vacancy or 50 vacancies. Again, I work with your organization to get you on site. So as you can see here, since October of 2023, we have been enrolling on a monthly cadence. Today, we've enrolled roughly 677 children age 0 to 5 in quality programs. I want to applaud you guys because you guys have been very instrumental in that. We know a lot of the children may not still be with you. We know a lot of the children have left Mary Crane and gone to Sheray's. I'm looking at Lisa, so I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said. They left Craig's daycare and gone and enrolled in Catherine's daycare. We know this, we know that. So a lot of this information may be duplicative, just being honest, but overall, when you guys are enrolling new arrival families, you report it to me, you are counted in this number. We also understand that a number of you are doing independent efforts, and I applaud that too. I may not have that data. So this number, I know for sure, when I'm having conversations with the powers that be, that it's more than this. I know that. But what I know to be true is 677. You guys may have been alerted about exclusions that took place at Hostage Shelter and Inn of Chicago. Those exclusions have been lifted now, and the exclusion was in place due to measles. Measles is now more controlled. We have children who are vaccinated. We have children who are now free to return back to quality early learning settings, which is fantastic. So if anyone is interested in recruitment opportunities, please let me know. I'm your point of contact, okay? Any questions about new arrivals? I have a question, Sheree. Where your shelters at? Yes. Sure. I'm sorry. Who are you, ma'am? You look great in that red dress.
We are doing Democratic National Convention planning, and we are expecting an increase in new arrivals for political reasons during that time. So that's August 19th and the 24th. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that planning as well.
Thank you, Frankie. That is our managing deputy commissioner. Yes, ma'am. I welcome, yes, I welcome the reporting. Her question was, should you guys report to us if you have enrolled any new arrival families? Yes, I would encourage it, yes. Because I don't just report this information to you, we report this information to our commissioner, we report it to our executive leadership team, we report it to the mayor's office. We also report it to CPS. So this is a whole citywide collaborative effort, and I would love to include your data. So you are welcome to share that. And specifically the where, because we know that on this next slide, I'm about to show you where DFSS is facilitating shelter, but we know that a lot of folks are running them out of churches, running them out of their own private buildings, things of that nature. So if you could be specific to say where you're recruiting families from, that would be helpful. So I was going to be facetious and ask myself a question. So I'm gonna do it anyway. So Sheree, where the shelter's located? Okay, girl, yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, so here's a list of our 11, and I apologize for the formatting. It's acting crazy on this slide, but we have 11 family shelters that are currently open and operating, housing families. So this slide deck will be shared with you guys so that you can have the specific data. But we've broken down, yeah, we won't share it yet, but it'll be broken, as you see, it's broken down according to age group, because we found that that's helpful for you guys to know specifically in terms of ages, what we have currently in shelter. We also have the community area listed there. We also are tracking pregnancies, right? So those of you who are supporting pregnant moms, we have, pregnant mom numbers there as well. So I've highlighted those shelters in red who have the highest census of children 0 to 5, which means that they need the greatest support at this moment in enrolling children. But I also want to mention, just because you see the high number of children does not mean that they are not in quality programming. Okay, so let's not correlate this to enrollment or the need for enrollment. This just means they're in shelter. Out of this 166, it's quite possible that only 20 of them, oh, it's okay. Now you gotta tell me your name, where you from.
Mary Crane.
Just kidding, but I thank you for sharing. So it could mean that, only a small pool of these children are actually in need of quality care. So that's another reason why I need for you guys to talk to me, so that on the back end, we're tracking specifics as it relates to what is the need at that shelter. But just based off of these high numbers that I've highlighted in red, it is a great possibility that a good amount of those children are in need of quality care still. Okay. Yes.
So if, for instance, we get like more arrivals from the shelters that's not listed on there, do you want those numbers? to be
Yes.
reported as well?
Yes, please. Yes. Because that way I can have in our current reporting matrix that we have with the mayor's office, with our commissioner and with CPS, is only broken down according to this list. But I can easily add an other category, which I used to have for like police stations, stuff like that. But since the police stations have dwindled in terms of having new arrivals, I removed it. But if I need to add another category, absolutely let me know.
Okay, yeah, because I know one of our north side had, shelter near there.
You know the drill, Lisa, let me know. You had a question, ma'am? I saw your hand go up, down.
I was just thinking because I have the PFA program, but not PI or anything else with the city of Chicago. However, the students the families that I'm getting are mostly EHS students, not with DFSS. So do you want that data as well?
Yes, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. The opportunity to recruit and the opportunity to report your data is not just for entities that we fund. Okay, so if you are doing anything as it relates to new arrivals, you are welcome to share that data with me so that we can track it. We'll also track your agency as well, because the question often comes about, we're having an event. So for spring break, they had 3 events at 3 different park districts where they were targeting certain shelters, right? And in targeting those shelters, the question that I was asked was, can you tell us the names of organizations who are supporting new arrivals? The question wasn't that you fund who support new arrivals, it was flat out, right? So I've been reaching out to other grantees. I've been reaching out to independent entities, those who we don't fund, right? So I would love if if I'm at liberty to do so, to represent you in rooms that you are not in, to be, Craig's Daycare, I know for sure, they may be a small entity. We may only fund them for PI, but they do other work for and this is what they look like. I love that. I love to be that for you. So please, you're welcome to share. Very good question. Are there any other questions related to this? More to come. Because as Frankie mentioned, well, she didn't disappear. As Frankie mentioned, we are anticipating an influx during DNC, just simply because where the buses are coming from at the border is a non-democratic governor. So, if Craig having a party and he invited all the people who I'm not, I wasn't invited to the party, let me shake up the party a little bit. I'm hoping he won't do that, but you have to plan ahead and think maybe what could potentially happen during DNC, right? It could be a boatload of buses that come in, and how do we accommodate that? So that's just something that we've been, she's not there, but Frankie and team have been thinking about, right? Okay. Guess what? So William Hill is our Assistant Director of Quality, and he is not here today. But guess who's going to represent him? Good morning, everyone. My name is, and those of you who work with William, that's how he sounds. He'll get up, he'll be like, good morning, everyone. My name is William Hill. And this is recorded, so I'm gonna show him later. Anyway, so he'd like for me to communicate with you guys that we are planning to have a parent conference and resource fair, so please save the date. There will be a save the date coming out to you guys through a CSD alert rather soon, but we are planning to have an event that is targeting and engaging our parents. So as you can recall, we had an event that was health and safety, that was for everyone. We had a health and safety 2.0 that was targeting our family homes. It was targeting doula. It was targeting home visiting. We've been doing a lot of things to support our programs, but we have not yet had anything to support our parents, and this will be it. Okay, so more to come. Right now, we are planning to have the event at Gately Park, 102nd and Cottage, 10 to 2. If anyone is checking their calendar, June 22nd is a Saturday, right? Is that right? Yeah. And the goal, of course, is to try to get as many parents as we can, because we know that parents work. So Saturdays will be the best from what we've seen. This will also be an opportunity for you guys to recruit, right? So we do have vendor space available. So we know parents will be there. We know that some parents are looking for employment. So if you're interested in setting up a table, let us know. We are also inviting community partners to host tables, and a registration link is coming soon. Any questions regarding our parent conference and resource fair? I believe so. I don't think we, I don't see us charging. Let me be William. Let's talk offline, Allison, okay? I highly doubt that. Any of you who've, had a table with us before, did we charge you? No. It'll be this one time. It was like, Allison, we need 15 jelly beans because I like candy. Any other questions? Yes.
We have a wraparound service for another entity that is closely related to, I guess, PFA or PI. Can we have a table there?
I'm thinking the answer will be yes, because we're there to support parents.
Okay.
But if you would like to reach out, I'm going to give you William's email addresses for the room. His name is William, common spelling, william.hill@cityofchicago.org. You're welcome to reach out to him with any questions related to it, be it if you're trying to just attend, if you're trying to vend, let us know so that we can guide you. Any other questions related to the conference and resource fair? More to come. Teacher resource distribution. So we will be, he put an extra S on there. He meant that class, okay? Instruction support material to be delivered to sites, okay? So again, we are in FA2 prep. We will be delivering some instructional supports to your sites. A member from the quality team or from our team here at DFSS will be reaching out, bless you, to orchestrate delivering those materials, okay? If anyone has any questions, again, you'll reach out to William. You're welcome to reach out to me too, and I'm just gonna send it to William because this is his shop. I meant that. You hear that? Okay. I think I'm done for the moment. Program admin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm filling in for Angel. She couldn't be with us today. So we only have a few updates. The self-assessment was due yesterday. So kudos to all of you who actually accomplished it. But we're still taking them. So email it to the sales planning email address and your team lead. So if you're not aware of who your team lead is, we have one here, Raven. Raise your hand. And Hasi is not in this room currently, but those are our two team leads for operations. Community assessment. So although you're not completing a new one, you just need to update it. So once Chapin Hall gives us the new data sets, I'll email that out to everyone. And you could just update your community assessment based on that new updated information. So I really appreciate all of the hard work for your CPPC governance because your parents are showing up. So give your parents some kudos because it is in the middle of the day and it's not like they don't have anything to do, and they do show up. So the next meeting is next Tuesday at 10:30 via Zoom. And then if you have any questions about any of that, email it to sales planning. It's not just an empty inbox. We do check it. You probably won't get a quick response, but we do check it daily. And Angel does have a quick message. She says, thank you, everyone. That's it for me. Oh, the CARES training survey. So if you have not completed one, you can use that QR code and then some on the end tables. They're trying to just get a gist of what training needs to take place. So if you could do that, that would be so kind. Because how many did they get? 20? 20 responses. I know you could do better than that. I know you have some complaints and concerns. So please, please do the survey. Frederick?
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Frederick Stewart, a Director of Finance here with the expenditure update. So first we'll look at the federal. With Head Start, we're at 26%, Early Head Start, 19%, Early Head Start expansion, Early Head Start CCP is at 19%, and Early Head Start expansion at 21%, and we should be around 42%. So please get your billings in if you haven't. There are resources and trainings online. Oh yeah, I'm used to it. Wait, which one?
Hit the
The
arrow
forward.
on the keyboard because it's not working.
Oh, okay. Okay. With the state grants, we have ECBG at 53% and CCAP at 59%. We should be around 83%, so we're a little bit lagging on that as well. With the HHS FY24 updates, invoices through April 30th period should be submitted by this time. So if you haven't, get all of that in up to that date. Funding guidance regarding FY24 COLA has been received from the grantor. Further information will be distributed in the coming months. For COLA is 2.35% in your retro to your 2/1/23 budget start date. Please begin planning accordingly. As it relates to childcare, invoices should be submitted through April 30th of the period covered. FY24 PIPFA invoices should be submitted through April 30th. Budget revision deadline of 5/15/24 has concluded. The teams are reviewing and processing those received and will notify you upon approval to proceed with invoicing. Important upcoming dates, add to your calendar. So 7/22/24, FY24 invoice submission deadline. Please do not wait until the final deadline. Advanced preparation and submission is strongly encouraged in the event there are any deletions and or rejections. FY25 PIPFA information is forthcoming pending the mayor's office and the grantor. iSupplier, please make sure your insurance is up to date. Inspire Insurance will hold up your contracts, invoicing, and your payments. Keep your iSupplier contacts up to date in order to receive proper communication from voucher audit during the invoice review. Per contract requirements, invoices should be submitted at a minimally monthly. Review your iSupplier frequently to reconcile and determine any submission and resubmission needs. iSupplier training and reference materials at the link. Your finance contacts as it relates to the federal grants and the PIPFA is Laverne Coleman, Teresa Lopez. Your corporate RTL, Laverne Coleman, Teresa Lopez. If you have childcare, Selena Ruan. Questions, open discussion. Oh, well, okay. Come on up.
Thanks, Fred.
They didn't have you on the agenda, man. That ain't right.
Dang, Fred, that's how you do it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Let me try to get this set up real quick and then we'll sort of go from there. Okay.
You would come here, Ken, with all these gadgets.
Let's talk. Yeah, not so much. I mean, unless we take out this.
Oh, no, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'll take it out from the mouse to see if, I'm just gonna set this there, see if it picks up. Yeah. Okay. Some picked up now. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay,
Now let me stop sharing, so then you'll be able to share whatever it is you're.
okay. Sweet. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna try this, everybody. I'm Ken McGee with Claridine. How's everybody doing this morning? Good, good. So if this takes too long to load, I'm not gonna hold up your time. I know you're on meters. But you know, we did spend a little time on this, so I would love to show it to you. But you know, Murphy and his law sometimes has a different way of doing things, so we'll just go with that. Sure. Oh, Crystal. Okay. Let's see. All right. So just real quick, we are the PDM support services provider. And part of what we're trying to do is to make sure that there's some intentional learning going on and to also make sure that we don't just give you one-off training. So a lot of times if you attend our trainings, we actually will stack on different concepts, and the whole point of saying that Head Start, Early Head Start, your PFA program to be system-based, right? So most folks have done the health and safety module at this point, right? We've had over about 1,750 users across the network who've done the health and safety module. So kudos to you for doing that. Yeah. We're doing live stream trainings as well as at your own pace trainings as well. And on-demand webinars, like folks have been taking their SEA webinar. But one of the things about the live stream trainings that we have, one of the big things is that you actually get a chance to talk with your peers as well. So at the same time, we might be in breakout rooms, you might be just in an open discussion, but that's one other way that you can start to get some learning. One of the new things we're doing now is that we have a Technology 101 training series happening. The next session with that is going to deal with donor management and volunteer management. So I encourage you to join. Fiscal Communities of Practice every third Friday. The next one is actually tomorrow in the afternoon. So, and there's also a hub that goes with that too, which is really cool because it's more of a knowledge base about what's going on with fiscal, right? So I definitely encourage you to do that. And one other thing, I'm gonna pause this right here. One other thing that's sort of important too is that everybody in this room, every training topic might not apply to you directly, right? But we're at the executive director, program director meeting, right? So it might not apply to you, but it might apply to your staff who's doing a particular content area. So it's important that they attend the trainings as well. Trainings are available to you free of charge. Just need to show up. Most of them are virtual still at this point. Occasionally there may be one that will be in person, something like what was at McCorn Place, right, last August. But showing up, listening and learning helps to get you on that continuum of starting to try to see things from a system basis, right? This particular QR code is to join our mailing list. Mailing list to give you updates about trainings. CSD does a great job by putting out the CSD updates several times a week, right? We're listed there with our trainings, but it's also, I recognize that there's a lot of information to sort of dig through to figure out what you're gonna get, right? And what you need, and then how do you get that out to other folks and then expecting them to go through that. So one of the things we want to just try to implement is that you can sign up for our PDM training list. And in that, we're gonna send you an email about once or twice a month only, so it's not gonna be spam, but it's gonna tell you about which trainings are coming up for the next month for PDM, right? So you'll get a list of about 5 or 6 trainings saying that in the next 60 days, these are the trainings, here are the registration links, if you're interested. So it will come to you as a push. Other way, when you get the CSD updates, it's a push, but then it's a pull, right? The pull is you have to pull yourself in to read to do something. We want to give you a little bit more of a targeted approach of saying, you sign up on the list, we're going to tell you, hey, these are going to be the trainings for June and July, right? That's it. And then other stuff with CSD will still be there, but this is just another way to make sure that you stay informed. And you can take that same email, send it to your staff real quick. Not a lot for them to have to try to filter through, and they can join the email list too. We're going to provide the same QR code and the link to CSD, and that'll go along with their CSD updates. So you can join the list, figure out to make sure that you don't miss a training just because you didn't know about it. Does that make sense to folks? All right. Yeah, we are enjoying training, and we're enjoying doing new things with you too. Aside from the traditional trainings, being able to bring in new topics, being able to do things that are on demand at your own pace. Got word from FSS that we will be doing a health and safety module 2.0. That'll come out sometime in September with some additional content in it. And like I said, your feedback is important. Filling out the feedback surveys helps us to get better. We strive to be better as a training and technical services provider. And occasionally I'll give you one other small hint. Sometimes based on the discussions in our live stream trainings, there may be we'll end up having a bonus training session about something too, right? So with our last group we had dealing with onboarding, we actually committed to doing an additional training for folks around doing their executive directors or their onboarding opening, helping them show how they could do their opening videos to have as part of a video onboarding welcoming piece, which would provide a little bit more consistency, because if you operate multiple sites, everybody starting at a different site isn't most likely getting the same message when they get onboarded. So we want to try to find some ways to try to get some consistent messages, so you start people off on an equal playing field. But you know, that comes up from attending and feedback. So I encourage you to get your staff, and for you as well, to attend, and let's keep learning, okay? All right, thanks, everybody. Any questions? Hope I get answers if you get questions. Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, all right, cool. Let me get out of your
Look,
thing.
somebody check your parking app. How much time we got? You got an hour? 30 minutes? Okay, 30. I'm gonna go with
Oh,
the
you
less
got it.
amount.
I'm just gonna pull this out in a second.
Okay.
Try again. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Put
and
this
then you
back.
go back. All right.
Right. Okay, are there any questions? This is a lot of information, but we kind of went through it kind of quick. Any questions about anything mentioned today? Yes.
I may not have been here. If you can work information about the PFA,
Yeah, you missed it, girl. Yeah, you missed it. You didn't miss much though. All we said was that decisions are forthcoming.